ahead and introduce our speakers. I got the honor of going to Stokes County. I wish I had met these guys when I lived in Surrey County last year when I was robbed, because I really needed some support, because if anybody's ever been broken into before, it really does something to you. But they're a really great organization. These guys have a really great thing going on, and they would like to talk to us about what they do and a lot of different things. And it is Steve Thompson with the Stokes County Militia, and also Frank Marshall with the Stokes County Militia also. And you may have seen these guys on Facebook a lot if you Facebook, but don't feel like Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me out here, and I appreciate what you're doing, sir. The honor card is an absolutely fantastic thing that's going by the wayside in too many places. We have pretty, we have great respect for veterans. I serve, Steve served, Dave served. Most of the people that are in the militia, either they have served or they have a great love for our veterans. We just went up to Washington, D.C., as a matter of fact, and helped with some of the barricade removal up there with all that was going on around our park. So we got a lot of one of the biggest things that people always ask when we start talking about militia, they want to know, why the word militia? Why do we just choose to use the word militia? Because the liberal media has hijacked that word over the last 20 years and tried to make it a bad thing. They're trying to tell us that if you belong to a militia, that you're probably a racist, that you're probably full of hate, that you're crazy, and all these other things. I'm not going to spend any time arguing with you about whether or not I'm crazy, because I very well may be, but that doesn't have anything to do with the rest of it. We are not a hate group. As a matter of fact, I tell everybody we are a love group. We love our God, we love our families, we love our communities, we love the men and women of the armed forces, and by God, we love America. So we're not a hate group. A lot of people get misconceptions about things because all they believe is what they hear on TV and the things that they see. The guys that are going around, trying to blow up buildings and things of that nature, or making bombs, or talking about attacking law enforcement, that's not a militia. If you decide to start a militia, you're going to stay as far away from those people as you possibly can, because all it takes is one guy in one of your shirts or one of your uniforms to make some kind of stupid mistake, and the whole unit will pay for it. We are very involved with our local law enforcement. Matter of fact, the sheriff of our county, Mike Marshall, has said on numerous occasions that when the time comes, if the government at any level attempts to disarm the people of Stokes County, he'll turn in his badge, but he will not turn in his gun. He's not going to do that. And I told him at the last meeting that we had, he won't turn in his badge either, because we gave him that. The people gave him that badge, and nobody's going to get it no quicker than they're going to come and get the gun. So that's one of the big things that we talk about, is standing firm in opposition to any attempt to disarm the people. You don't need a piece of paper to tell you that you have the right to defend your life. You've only got one of them. Everybody in here has got the God-given right to defend their person and to defend their belongings. You don't need it on paper. We don't need to argue about what the intent was of people 250-some years ago. None of that really matters. You know you've got one life. You know you have the right to defend that life. Guns exist. Therefore, you have a right to a gun, because other people have guns. It's only logical. So we're very big on making sure that people understand where we stand on the Second Amendment. A lot of people think that militias spend all their time running around painting up in camouflage and doing things, training and shooting. And guys, we do that. It's fun. We enjoy that. But that's not all that we do. There's plenty of things to do. If you're not able, or you're not interested in being outside and hiking with a pack or shooting rifles, if you're not interested in that stuff, there are plenty of ways that you can help. We have prepping classes. We have first aid classes. We want people to be independent. We believe that the best way that a modern militia can help their community is to make their community stronger, better, safer places for people to live, to work, to worship, to raise their families. That's what we're striving for. We want people to start taking responsibility for their own actions. The first thing that you have to do when you become a member of our militia is you have to show us that you're independent, that you have taken steps to provide for yourself and for your family. You're no good to us if you show up with nothing but a need. what can we do for you? We want people that are coming here and say, hey, how can we help? We've got my stuff took care of, now how can I help everybody else? That's the kind of people that you want in the militia. And that's what we do. When storms come, we're not standing over there at the food line waiting to get a milk and bread, okay? We put the chainsaws and the chains and stuff like that in the truck, and we get our guys together on the four-wheel drives, and we go play in the snow. Well, my wife says play in the snow. We go out and see who we can help. You know, maybe there's trees down, maybe there's places that we can help people get up the road that the passage was blocked, people get inside ditches, whatever we can do. When there was breaking and entrance, and she mentioned the breaking and entrance in her home in Surrey County, when stuff like that happens, it generally seems to happen in spurts, and it happens in areas. So when we start hearing about that, we work with law enforcement to put people out there. We'll have guys take turns actually patrolling those areas and just reporting any kind of suspicious activity that they might see. We're not dang running up and trying to attack anybody. We don't have handcuffs in our vehicles. We're not law enforcement. We know we're not law enforcement. We're just there to help. And if we can put another set of eyes out there, that's what we do. There's 44 sworn officers in the Stokes County Sheriff's Department. 44. 44,000 residents in Stokes County. So any other set of eyes that they can get is obviously helpful to them. And they appreciate that, and they've shown us many occasions that they appreciate it. Also have people that have problems, any kind of problem from, we had a widow lady that got broke into, tore her door off the hinges, and she was afraid to sleep at night. We went over there and put her a door in. Those are the kinds of things that we do to help the community know that we're there, we care about them, we want to help them. We had a couple of families. Seems like a pretty common theme is fires. As a matter of fact, we were talking about a burnout victim on our way over here, what we can do to help them. But we have helped several families with burnouts and put their houses back together. We had one in particular. They called us on a Friday morning and told us that this family had gotten burned out, lost everything. Didn't have any insurance, lost their house, lost everything. Complete total loss. They had a piece of rental property that they were fixing up and trying to get ready to rent out to some other people, and then they were able to move into that place. So they were very fortunate in the way of things like that, where they had somewhere to go. But it was an empty shell. They didn't have anything. 3 kids, they didn't have nothing. We started that morning on Facebook, by phone, getting out the word to everybody and telling them what the needs was. We went over there with 2 truckloads of stuff early Saturday morning. And we stayed, and we made trips back and forth all day long. I left from there at 9 o'clock that night, and they had blinds on every window, they had furniture in every room, the refrigerator was stocked, they had televisions. The kids even had a daggone PlayStation 3 in the basement. They were playing video games by the time we were there. So we tried to put them back into some sense of normalcy. And it was all through donations. It was all through coordinating donations in the community. The community has not lost yet. We're losing, and we're losing in the schools, but we ain't lost yet. What we have to do, just like a fire starts to burn out, you got to fan them flames. You got to get in there and show people that we're still fired up about this nation. I love America. I think that everybody in this room loves America. You wouldn't be over here. There's plenty of things we could be doing tonight. We came over here to support the Tea Party, to listen to him talk about the honor, and to talk about Stokes County Militia and the Southern Coalition Militia. So that proves to me that everybody over here loves America. We're concerned about where America is headed. I don't know how many of you are paying attention to the news. Probably none of you, right? Yeah. It's getting pretty rough, I think. I think a lot of the things that are happening are proof positive that we have delayed in getting involved too long. And I was just like everybody else. I'm going to tell you something. 10 years ago, I did not give a crap about politics. It didn't matter to me. I was trying to daggone raise my son. I was building my business. It didn't matter to me. It just, somebody else was doing it. They screw you anyway. It don't matter what happened. That was my attitude. And I have come to the conclusion that that's part of the problem. That is exactly what the problem is. The 2 biggest things that are hurting this country today is apathy and ignorance. And we have all probably exhibited some of both, or at least some of one, over the years. And that's why we're here now, because we're tired of being apathetic to what's going on, and we're no longer ignorant to what's going on. I think we've all educated ourselves to the point that we understand that we have to do it. Too many people in this country have sat around waiting for a nameless, faceless day to solve the problems of this country. But if you go back to the beginning and you read the Constitution, you read the Declaration of Independence, it don't talk about they. It talks about we. So we've got to come together and we've got to figure out how to fix it. And if you're not part of a militia, I urge you to try and get that started. I love what the Tea Party does. We work really close with the Tea Party, and I hope that the Tea Party, through legislation and through pressure, can turn things around. But if they cannot, and if it does not work, if things continue to deteriorate, you're going to need Plan B. And that's what your militia is. Your militia is Plan B. We're working to strengthen our communities, to make people understand that there is a need to be self-reliant, that there is a need to be armed. We're not armed so we can shoot squirrels. We're not armed so that we can protect ourselves against an occasional mugger. We're armed so we can protect ourselves against anything that threatens us and our way of life. And that includes a tyrannical government that wants to take away our guns, that wants to take away the other rights that we have. I'm tired of watching the attacks on Christianity in this country. I'm tired of watching the attacks on conservatism in this country, morals. It's getting to be way, way too much. And I'm telling you, we can make a difference if we continue to link up, and that's why we work so hard. All these guys have got things they can be doing. We came a long way over here to talk to you guys because we're excited about the idea of adding another militia to the union. The Southern Coalition of Militias just got started in 2013, and so far we've added about 12 militias to our ranks, and we're working on about 5 or 6 more as we speak. All we're trying to do is link people that are interested in being the guys to man the wall. Just like back in the days when you were worried about Indian attacks, you had to have somebody that would pick up that gun and stand between the communities and the families and whatever danger was coming. And that's what we're trying to do. And those are the people that we're hunting. So when people ask me all the time, who is the militia? Well, I'm going to tell you something. I am the militia. You are the militia. But most importantly, we are all the militia. We, the people, is the militia. We don't think that being a part of the militia is just a right. We think it's your obligation. We think it's your duty to be ready, to stand up, to help your fellow man, to help your families, to help yourself, and to stand there and to make sure that nobody is going to trample on your rights. Because those rights were not given to you by man. They were not given to you by a piece of paper. They were given to you by our Creator. And we believe firmly that everybody in this room and everybody in this country has not only the right, but the obligation to fight for those rights. So that's kind of what we're all about.